Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So good morning, everyone. This is the third session of week one. So today, basically, we are going to somewhere different, going to learn somewhere different concepts. So it's just a basic session. So in this session, we basically focus on the concept that is very in general things, but it is very important for the beginners of who are with this course, as well as the peoples who know this course very well. Okay, so basically in this session, we will going to present you some slides, and in this slide we will give you some questions. Okay, very basic and basic questions. So what you need to do, that you have to go to that questions on the screen, and you have to answer. And after giving after seeing all your answer, we will discuss that concept in details. Not in very details, we'll not go in very details, but yeah, we will discuss some of the point that is very important in context of this course. So okay, so my question is, first of all, let me see who all participants are here who completed all the videos, watching all the videos, and completed all the activities and practice questions. Done with all the questions. You can raise your hand. You can unmute yourself and can also tell.
No, ma'am, I have not finished all the assignments yet.
Okay, so you have gone through all the activity and practice questions, right?
I've gone till lecture 8. I know all the activity questions before that. After that, I have to watch it.
Okay, okay. So you are not done with the activity. You are just on
No,
it.
I've done with all the activities before lecture 8. And
Okay, before lecture it, right? Okay, okay. Okay, I got it. Okay, okay. No, no, not an issue. You will go with uh you can watch the videos and you can go with your pace. It's not much important that you have to quickly fast all the questions. It's all up to you. So yeah, so it is the third session, you know that. And first of all, I'll share my screen, and you will got some questions on your screens. So you will it is kind of open-ended question, right? You all have to answer. It's must, and it's very beneficial for you to gather some of the information by our peers also. So
yes,
okay,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay, okay. If any time you missed my voice and my network goes, so please inform me in the chat, as well as you can unmute yourself and can tell me that ma'am, you are not audible, this kind of thing. Okay,
Sure, ma'am.
okay, okay. So let's start this session.
Sorry, ma'am, I missed it. Where do we have to answer the questions?
Yeah, I am just presenting my screen, and there is something called menti.com. So when I present you the screen, you have to go to menti.com, and just I will give you the code, and you have to enter that code in that whenever you have asked to enter that code. And after that, you will see certain questions on your screen, and you can able to answer, okay, with your computers also.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So let me present my screen. 1 minute. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm, 1 minute. I think my video is on. Yeah, okay. Now it's visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me give it in presentation mode. Okay, can you see that? Mm,
Yes, we can see the code now.
you can see the code, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So please go to the menti.com and enter this code 88298242. Okay. And you can also scan this code, QR code, in order to log in. So if you are facing any kind of issue, so you can inform me too in here. Okay. So I can see the participants are joining. So I'll wait for some time till all the participants join, and then we can start the session. Okay, so I missed wishing you a happy new year. So for from my side, happy new year to all of you.
Happy New Year to you too, ma'am.
Happy New Year to you too, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. So we got 11 participants. Okay. So I don't know how many Okay, 31 participants are with us. So I will request all of you to please log in and can participate in the session such that you can also share your thoughts and whatever you want you have in your minds regarding that question, whatever that is uh, uh, very much possible that it might some wrong or right. It is not necessary that it will always wrong correct. You can also share whatever it is in your mind. So please mm, join as soon as possible, so such that we can start our session. The people who are joining new, so just to inform you that please go to www.menti.com and enter this code. So yeah, okay, we'll wait for just next couple of minutes and then we can start. So okay, so one thing, as you've gone through two of our session, the session on Wednesday and session on Friday, uh, may I ask some of your experience, any kind of corrections we need to do on these sessions, and any kind of thing that you want to share? You can tell me here, such that we can improve the session and it would benefit you in a better way. If anyone want to share something about this session, that it was good or it was bad, or any kind of thing you want to improve in this session, timings, any kind of thing. If you're facing an issue.
No, ma'am. Personally, for me, the timings were great. So I'm a working professional, and afternoon timing is considered very good time for any activity. And all the lectures are even scheduled at the right time from Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So experience was good. The instructor was very friendly and helpful, and uh, he was solving all the questions and giving us tips on how to overcome the problems and solve them. So I've had a good experience personally.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we are working on just to benefit you in such a way that you will answer on the all the questions. You may have understood all the lecture in a good way possible. So yeah, our and our timings is also such a way we have lots of meetings and lot of discussion over the timing. So that's why this timing is just output of that much of discussions. So okay, so if any kind of issue, anyone, you can also post it on discourse. So we'll be trying that all the queries have been answered soon as possible. Okay, so we have 19 participants joined. So I think we had waited enough. Okay, so I think we can go to the slides. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so you can see the screen, right? See the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the first question. So this is very basic question, right? It is a question that every computer science or any kind of person who was just aware of some technologies and some terminologies regarding computer science and will be familiar with this concept. So I'm not going into very deep that what is an application, how it is built, and how I'm not going into deep. But yeah, I just want to discuss some of the points that you should be able to know in context of this course. So in this course, we are not going to very details in how to build. Uh, we have a syllabus with us. So with due respect to that syllabus, we just have to discuss here. So please post your answer here. And after some time, we will discuss some of the points regarding week one. Okay, we are in week one. So with due respect to week one content, we will discuss what do you mean by an application and how many types, such kind of thing. So I can see 4 student answered. So I think all of the participant who are logged in, 20 participant I can see. So please, all of them, share your thoughts. Not to worry about very detailing of that particular question, just to give me an overview that what do you mean by an application. And in further weeks, we will study in details. By this point, stage of time, we just have to know what is an application and what do you mean by an application. Since it is a first week, so that's why. So we'll wait for 20 responses and then we can continue. The peoples who are joined in, so you can also go to the menti.com and enter the code. If you are not aware of the code, please ask me. I can go to that slide which is showing the code. Okay, so we have 17 responses. So let's see what people have given the responses. Uh, okay, so let me see what the responses we get. A software program that provides some specific functionality. Okay. Application is something that helps in solving a problem. Code or program written to perform certain tasks. Okay. An application is a computer software or a program used commonly on mobile phones as well as on PC. Okay. An application is an interface that allows us to interact with the computer and to perform certain tasks as per our need. Okay. Application is a software used to provide users a platform to perform some specific task. Nowadays, mobile which perform a certain task. Okay, I can see many of the responses, and in my opinion, all these responses are somewhere correct. Okay. It is a set of interdependent programs written for some specific purpose. Okay. Application is a program designed to operate a task and to used by an end user. Perform some task. Okay. So yeah, this is a very basic thing that everyone must know what is an application, and whatever you have given your responses, in my opinion, it is fine. It is okay. Okay, so can anyone want to unmute yourself and say something about it? Is it okay if you say something? Rather than you can write, but you can also say one by one. You can say that what do you mean by an application? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. So ma'am, I'd written in the Mentimeter, I'll just say that again. An application, according to me, is a program or a computer software that is coded and designed in such a way that it is cross-platform, first of all. Also, it is most commonly used in PC as well, in mobile phones generally. That's when I
Mhm.
first heard the word app. And these apps are sold on app stores so that everyone can buy it.
Oh.
But one very important distinction between an app and a web is that
App and it?
app and a website
Okay, website. Okay, okay.
is that an app cannot be the same for each and every mobile phone or a service provider. For
Mm.
example, iOS has a different kind of a app store and a different app that they have to design, and Android has another one. Whereas for web, it's cross-platform. It can be accessed from any OS on any device, irrespective of it. So I would just like to highlight on that. Apart from that, I think everyone has said.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. So yeah, we in this question we are just discussing upon the application. We'll also come on the website. So yeah, whatever you had told that it is also fine. So all the responses that I had get and whatever you tell also, yeah, this is everything about that we had to learn up to this stage. So let me add some points into it. So see, uh, I just want to explain this question with an example. The person who is understanding this question, it is fine, but some student has not given their answer, so I think they have some confusion in their mind. So I just wanted to for them to clear that concept. So okay, so let me give some example and then we can discuss. So let's imagine your life from morning to evening. You are just waking up, and after waking up, what you will do in general. Uh, in my life, in my routine, it's just that I waked up and it's my alarm that is ringing, and I after rising up, I had to go to Instagram, I had to go to WhatsApp and check my messages. I opened my mail and I'll check my emails. So these are the things that I do. So after that, what we do, we go to YouTube and play some music, play some new movies. We can also watch news on them. So after that, what I'll do, if I am working, so I'll go outside and I'll book a Ola or Uber. Okay, so that way it is also using a Google Map. And if I think I want to drink some coffee, so I can see that coffee shop and kind of any kind of stores near me on the Google Maps also. So many of it, if I want to do a shopping, so I can go to Amazon app and Myntra, and many kind of apps are present. So I can go there and I can shop. I can shop for my things. Okay, so all these things that I had explained and I had told you, all these things are a kind of app, right? So nowadays, every kind of thing, every kind of computation, and every kind of functionality that you want in your life, it is very much possible and easier with the help of an application, which is also called as an app. Okay, so see, now let's talk about an application in such a more brief way. So, in some simple terms, application is nothing but a type of software, a type of code that allows you to do things. And who write this code? Of course, developers write this code. Okay, so this code is built to perform some specific task. So, just I given you example of that Google Map or that Uber. So some developers had developed that app, right? So they had in their mind that okay, so this is the task that this app is performing. So every app has its own functionality, has its own uses, and that app is just built to facilitate the end user, in order to uh, fulfill their basic needs. Okay, so every computer or mobile device that we use, every the tablets, computer, okay, mobile devices, any kind of devices. So all will every devices will come with their basic built-in that app. Okay, so you can also purchase your app, but basically there are very maximum number of app that is free of cost, and there are very few number of app that is not free of cost. So yeah, we can apps can be free to user or sometimes needed to be get paid, like we can say Uber. uh, so many times it request for you to pay something to it, that kind of thing. So user will simply have to first download the app into their device, okay, from Play Store. Or now the question arises that where to download these apps and how this would be developed. So the most popular places for these are Android, Google Play Store, Apple App Store. They store hold the file representing the app. So these files that representing the app that waiting to be downloaded and installed onto their devices. So they are meant there because they have to be downloaded from them and then installed in your device. Okay, so if you go to the development part, so this app is firstly coded coded first, and then after that it will deliver to the people and you want to use it. Okay, so the code, what the code contains, basically the code contains this set of instruction that it tells the app what to do and what not to do. Okay, so let's say you have a alarm app for alarm. So whenever it will hit the time specified by you, then it will generate a sound. Okay, it will generate a sound and it will give you a sign that okay, this time has been come. Okay, so this all functionality, that all everything is done by a code, and that is in backend. You have your code, and that code is just giving you the instruction to whatever the application, what to do and what not to do. So okay, so we have many kind of application. We have desktop application, and we have mobile applications too. So see, in desktop application, uh, they are full featured application like Microsoft Word, and we can say like calendar app. These are all the things we can say default apps that comes with the app. So hello, every
Yes,
is
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
anyone is speaking something? Okay, so see, in desktop app, usually the desktop apps is comes with a standalone apps. Okay, so what is a standalone apps? Standalone apps are the apps that does not need an internet connection with them to be functional. Okay, so let's say we have a editors, word processor, we have a notepad, right? We have a VS Code, we have a mail, we have web browsers. So these are the apps that is usually standalone. So we can also make them functional without the active internet connection. So many of the desktop apps support standalone. They are standalone. Okay, so they often work offline. So this is possible that we can access any kind of data without an active network connection. Okay, so this is all about the desktop app. So what the word processor, the media players, the web browser, all these things are, so in processor, what we do, the word processor allows us to write letter, design, create many other type of documents. So these all things we can do offline. Okay, the media players, what we'll do, if you want to listen to MP3 or watch movies, what you are downloaded on your device, that you will need to use the media player for that. So it is very much possible to work along with these apps with without an internet connection. So next is the mobile apps. So whatever the mobile apps is, so this mobile apps are have some constant with them also. Yeah, mobile we can also use the apps, but some of the constant are, see, in mobiles generally the apps are network oriented. So every app, on maximum the apps on the mobile are network oriented. We have an internet connection with us such that we can use that app. We have to we and for, this is one of the constant. Okay, second is the screen space. Okay, all the apps and everything we see on a screen, which is of laptop, it is somewhere big in comparison with your mobile device. Okay, mobile screen. So it is a second constant. Third is we cannot interact much with a mobile, right? We don't have a very much big screen such that we can uh, touch, and we also have to and all the things that on computer device, it is visible very much in a good way to us. right? So also that memory is also one of the constants. So on the mobile we can use applications, but these are the constant apart from the benefits that I discussed of an app, that it is very useful, and it is uh, very helpful in doing some specific task. So these are the constant that a mobile app must contain. So yeah, desktop app has also some of constant, but these are the constant regarding to mobile apps. So basically these both desktop apps and mobile apps, these are all coded and by the developers, all things. Okay. So yeah, last thing, these applications are developed uh, on what, which are called the SDKs. Okay, so SDKs, on these SDKs, this application has been developed. So these are usually that custom frameworks, the SDKs. I'm talking about the SDKs are some custom frameworks that are in many cases uh, OS specific. So if you had an SDK for developing apps or application for, let's say, Microsoft Windows, okay, so it is unlikely that the same application would work without changes on Linux or any kind of any other kind of operating system for Linux or on Mac, for or any kind of tablets or phones. So yeah, these are OS specific things on SDK we can so this is one of the point. Yeah, that's all from my side. These are the points that is basically very much important in context of week one, and as we go through the course, we will learn uh, more about application, web application. So as we are using the web application in this course, so we'll go more details about the web application. So yeah, so anyone who wants to add here something, or we can go to the next question. Can we go to the next question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So next question is, okay. So this is my next question. It is very basic question, but it is a very important concept if you are working with application development. So it is very important. This is a small concept, but it is very much important in order to pursue your course, this modern application course. So this question is, what do you mean by an internet? So I'll wait for some times, and I'll request you all to please go through this question and please answer, such that we can discuss all along. Are you able to see my screen? This question?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I can see 9 responses. Okay, 10. So I'll wait for 1 or 2 more minutes and then we can continue. I'm just asking for a very basic concept regarding internet. That what do you mean by an internet? Not going into very much details, just a overview, right? So I request you all to please share your thoughts regarding this question. It would be really beneficial for your peers also. They would have come through new concepts and might learn new things. Okay, so we have had enough responses with us. So let me read out the results. Okay, we have this much of so it is a network of interconnected computers. Okay, it helps you discover files on another system. The pathway to connect our system with the whole world. Okay, internet is a computer connected other computer in a large scale, which is used to communicate with each other with the help of an IP addresses. The IP addresses. An internet is an interconnected network of sharing information with each other. Okay, everyone has written good. Connection, okay, interconnected networks, various kind of devices. Okay. Internet is an equipment used to virtually connect to various remote client server. Okay, internet is yeah. Everyone has written somewhere right in their context. So anyone wants to unmute themselves and add something to this if they want to add it in any extra information about internet. If someone wants to answer, please go ahead. Or I can continue with some points.
Actually, I have a doubt, or you can say query. There are various terms like internet. So, what are the differences between them?
Okay. So can we discuss this internet first and then we go to that question?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyone else wants to add to this question? what is an internet. If someone wants to add.
So I'm basically an internet is just a network of networks, right? That's all it is. Apart from that.
Okay, if I ask you that, please explain in some layman terms. I know everyone knows that internet is a collection of computers and networks of computers. But if someone is new to this, what if someone does not know what is a network and what do you mean by a network? So if it would be very beneficial if someone can explain in very layman terms.
Network, according to me, is a connection of computers and servers, especially very high computing one or a batch of low computing one that are connected to each other, where a lot of processing and data storage happens. Uh, and they all speak to each other, communicate, connected network. So a network of
So
networks will be a lot of network connected to each other, and that's what I think is it.
okay. So yeah, okay. So that is fine. So basically, see, if I'll talk in a very basic terms, in a layman terms, if I'm assuming that you didn't know anything about internet, what is an internet? So see, I'm just giving you an overview and very fundamental. I'm telling you very fundamental terms that what is an internet. So see, let's understand internet as a very long piece of wire. Okay, a very long piece of wire. Just assume that internet is very long piece of wire, and wire, this particular wire connects different computers to each other. Okay, so let's say we have one computer that is in India, and there is one computer that is in US. Okay, any other country, any two countries, you can assume. So these two computers be able to talk to each other and share resources using this particular wire. Okay, so on this wire itself, we have we don't have only two computers. There are millions and millions of computers that are connected to these wire. Okay, so apart from these computers, we also have some computers that are basically responsible for serving data to one computer to another computer. Okay, so this particular computer that is responsible for serving data, documents, files, etc. So these, whenever we try to access any, for example, see, whenever we try to access any website on any particular computer, 1 minute, I just have a call. Yeah, okay. Sorry for the interruption. I just had a call. Okay. So see, let's say we had to request a website and we have to access any website. So these computers, this particular computer that I am talking about, that is responsible for, apart from fetching data, some computers on this wire is also responsible for delivering data, serving data. Okay, so these computers are nothing but the web servers. Okay, apart from that, computers are devices, whichever devices you can take, that laptop, mobile, tablets, any kind of thing that is connected to internet, that is on wire, that wire, particular wire that I'm talking about, is we had a particular web server which is basically responsible for serving the data to that computer. Okay, so a web server is a computer which is open and activated 24 into 7. They are online 24 into 7, and any computer or client can request from them at any point of time. Okay, so there is no power cut. There is no any chance of any power cut. These are 24 into 7 online servers, online computers, that is called a web server. So whichever website you want to request, it will serve you. Who will serve you? The web server will serve you at the same point of time. Okay, so suppose a place where all the files and website documents are present. Okay, so it will be pretty difficult to quickly locate your things that you want out of that place. So see, at web server, there are many kind of resources are stored. So it is very difficult that a particular request will find which resource is mine, or which resource I want to derive from that particular web server. So let's say you are a client and you are sitting on your computer and type any URL in the address bar. Okay, in the address bar, you are typing in URL in your browser. So what happened is that your browser will send a message to ISP. So see, this is the solution. This is the solution I am discussing in order to solve the problem that if you are requesting any website from the web server, so how do my browser knows that which resources on the web server is mine, and which resources will I fetch it is correct resource that I want to fetch. So this is the solution I'm discussing here. So what we'll do basically, so first what your browser do whenever you type any URL, your browser send a message to your ISP. What is an ISP? So these are the internet service provider. These are the peoples who you pay to able to access the internet. Okay, so so after now the message that you send to your ISP will pass that message to a DNS. What is a DNS? So this is a domain name system server. So this domain name system server is just like a what can I say? It's just like a phone book. Okay, so let's say you open your phone, and on that phone you have a contact list, right? So in the similar way, a DNS has, it will look up in its database as what is the exact IP address of that particular website. So on DNS, what is that? It converting the message that is sent by the ISP to an IP address. Okay, so IP address of what? Of that particular site that we want to access. You are trying to access. Okay, so every single computer that is connected to the internet has a unique IP address. Okay, so see, all the on this wire, we are assuming that internet is a wire, kind of very big wire, giant wire, and we can't imagine that how long this wire would be. So all the computers, all the devices all around the globe is connected to this wire, and every computer that is connected to internet, that I am not talking about who is not connected to internet. So we have very offline devices which are not connected to internet. I'm talking about who is connected to internet particularly. So that device has some unique IP address. So we know we have two type of IP address, IPv4 and IPv6. So we will not go very detail into this IPv4 and IPv6. So just to give you an overview that every device is a particular has IP address. Okay, so see, IP address it is a type of postal address, right? So see, if you want to send any message or any kind of parcel to your friend who is residing in any other country or any other place, so the first thing you will write is his or her postal address. Okay, so this IP address is just like a postal address, which street he belongs to, which flat number he is residing. So these are the things up, we are talking in the context of a device. Okay, so this is like the postal address for your computer. So when people want to send and receive files on the internet, each computer can be allocated by the unique IP address, and once the DNS server finds the appropriate IP address of that particular website or particular computer, so it sends back to your browser that IP address. Okay, so after processing the after processing the IP addresses and finding the correct IP address for the particular website or computer, the IP address is sent back to the browser. So now you know the exact address, and then you can find the desired web page. So another thing, this is the one thing. Okay, so another thing that might happen, that you will send a direct request to the server. How can this can be sent? So see, we are sending in a form of URL. So let's say on the DNS, it is converting our message into an IP address. So what if you directly rather than giving the domain name of a particular website like www.google.com, it is a domain name, right? So rather than giving the domain name to the browser, what if we directly provide the IP address of that Google web page in our browser? So what it will do, it will go to the ISP, but without going to the DNS server, because on the DNS server, what we will do, we will convert the domain name or whatever the message in the form of URL we had given to our server, it will converting into the IP address. So this time, if we directly send message in the form of IP address, it is no need to go to the DNS server now. So this time will directly it will give go to the ISP, and from the ISP you will it will get to the that wire, and you will get that, and this message will directly send to the server via the wire. Okay, so this two things can happen in if we want to exchange data or files on that wire. Okay, so one fun fact I want to tell you, that the wire I'm talking about here is nothing but a underwater cable that empowers the internet. Okay, so all along the globe, in the which ocean I didn't remember. Okay, so I'll
I think
remember
it's
and
the
I'll tell you.
Pacific Ocean, ma'am. I think Pacific
Uh,
Ocean.
yeah, okay. So the specific ocean. No, I think Atlantic Ocean that is. I'm not sure.
I think all the oceans have these wires, I think.
Okay. So Pacific.
Because I
didn't-
recently heard that the government had provided optical fiber, like the underwater cable to Andaman and Nicobar. So that was,
Okay, so this is new, right? This is new thing.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I knew something about Atlantic and Pacific also, but this Andaman and Nicobar, I didn't read about that. So yeah, so this thing wires that I'm talking about, internet wires, is nothing but the underwater cable that is providing the internet, and this internet is made up of these wires connecting all over the world. Okay, so if I'm in India and I have to see any website that is hosted in US, then my browser will have to make a request that goes through all along these cables, underwater cables, whatever ocean we are talking about, Atlantic, Pacific, or any kind of ocean in which that cables had been set through. So these requests and had to go through all this all along these wires, and once that computer received any request, to send back all the relevant data going through this cable. Okay, and to navigate all of the resource throughout the internet, we only one thing we had with it, which is the IP address. So IP address is very important in context to reach any of your resources on this cable, in this on this giant cable, right? So once my browser receive the IP address of the website I want to access, Then my browser send another message through the ISP via the cable to the server that is located at the address. Okay, so on this server we have many of computers residing on that giant computer, which is a 24 into 7 online, and which has many of computers situated in it within it, and they all have particular IP addresses with them. So whenever our browser will receive the IP address of the website that we are requesting, it will send a direct message to the server through the ISP, which give back response. Okay, response to the browser that is displayed on our screen. And the computer that is located at that address is of course the website that we are searching for. And on this server, it contains all the files needed in order to view the website of our wish, what we had wished. So yeah, the server now the server sent back all the source to the client through the cable. This cables only that I am talking about, underwater cables. And at last, the client was able to see that web page on their particular browser that they are just requesting. So this is all about internet. So yeah, anyone wants to
Ma'am,
ask anything?
like I have a small doubt for IP address. So we have an IP address of a website. Do we also have it for a device, like device having an IP address?
I can't hear you properly.
There's in a website we have an IP address, right? So
Yeah.
does a device also have an IP address?
Yeah, every device have an IP address. So see, website, we are talking in terms of a device or a computer. Okay. So this website, we are also taking it as a device. So every device mm, on this particular
Sonal, can I answer for this question, Sonal?
okay. Devi ma'am, yeah.
Actually, a website is also we are connecting using IP address, but the whatever IP address we are using, that is connecting to the server which is having that particular IP address. For example, if you take Google is having 7 servers located at different locations of the world, all the 7 servers will have different IP address, but it will be combined to a same domain name www.google.com. Right? So using the DNS server. So automatically websites is also using IP address to point to the server to load its corresponding request and get the corresponding response. I think I made it clear.
Yes, I understand it now. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
Sonali, can continue.
Okay, so anyone wants to question anything about this question? Or can we go to the next question?
Yeah, ma'am. Next question.
Okay. So let's go to the next question. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is my question. How does a website actually work? So I'll wait for some time. Please post your answer such that we can discuss on it. Okay, I can see one student answering. Please, I request you all to please put your answers here as soon as so that we can discuss. Uh, okay, someone is asking about internet, intranet, and extranet. So after this question, I'll discuss. I just forget about that question. So sorry for that. I'll explain it at the end. Okay. Okay, so we waited for 2 to 3 minutes. I just see 6 responses here. So can I continue with the discussion, or if someone is answering it, they can answer. I can wait for 1 to 2 minutes more. So I think At least we can read out the responses. I can think we can continue. Is someone answering still? They can unmute and tell that I can wait for 1 to 2 minutes if you want. Okay, so let's discuss this. Okay. So a website has its content loaded to a central computing system, machine, and when client requests access, that information is distributed to the client. Okay, it gets a request from client and take data from the server and present the result to the client. Okay, the website is composed from HTML along with some styling method CSS. Whenever a client requests for a particular page, all the HTML and the styling of that particular page is sent from the server of the website to the client. Okay, yeah. A website is hosted on a machine that runs a web server which listen to requests from clients and respond to this request. Okay, I can see number of various responses here where when a client requests for a resource from a website, the server that hosts a website parses the request and based on logical business model returns a particular document to the client. Okay. Yeah. When we type a web address, it goes to the domain server directly to the current IP address. So, okay, when we write any website name on the browser, okay, so, okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, these are somewhere correct, but who answered this? The website is composed from HTML along with some styling method. Can you elaborate more on this? Is it okay to unmute yourself and elaborate? Or if I can continue. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll continue with that. So we have 9. Okay, so see, we are talking about websites here, right? Websites. So we, after knowing what is the internet and how it works, now we'll see how a website works. So see, what exactly does an HTML, CSS, and JavaScript do exactly? So here we are talking about particularly about websites. So we'll talk about some extent and some concepts regarding HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so in order to access a web page, we already know that we'll need a browser. Okay, and that can be any browser, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, etc. So these are all the pieces of software that allow us to look up the IP address of your website that you want to access, right? So as we discussed previously, if you want to request any website to the website from a web server, we know its IP address, particular IP address. So we have a browser, we have an IP address. So now, what will happen? So are we able to receive data and that will be that is rendered to us? That what will be the basic functionality and the basic processes that is going in the back end that we are not able to see. Okay, these are the things that we know that we request to the server and the server will give response to us. So basically, so now the data that you will receive from the server usually consists of 3 types of files. Okay, so let's say these files are HTML files, CSS files, and JavaScript files. and it is very much possible that students must know some concepts regarding this terminology I'm telling about, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so what I'm saying that every time we'll receive a response data from the server, it usually consists of three types of file: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so why don't we have just one file, and why so many files? Can anyone unmute themselves and answer that why we are receiving files separately in the form of HTML files, CSS files? Why we are not receiving one particular file which is consist of all the stuff that we need to render any kind of output or any kind of website which we want?
They are like different.
Maybe because of we don't need all the code in the file. We just want the particular piece of that code which we want in the file at a time.
And they're like static and dynamic pages. So static ones are like small files and they can be accessed quickly. And for dynamic pages, we need Java and everything. So that's why.
Okay, yeah, okay. So correct. So see, what happens is that HTML code, we have these three files. There is a specific reason behind that. See, so basically, this HTML code file is particularly responsible for the structure of your website. So, if the HTML will be your house, let's say you are building your house, so this HTML will be the structure of your house. So, the builder who is responsible to give the building a structure. Okay, so this is something related, we can relate to HTML, which is giving our website or any web page a structure. So we use HTML to give structure to our website, to provide, let's say, to provide buttons, images, text boxes, whatever you want in your website. Let's say you are building your website and you want a structure kind of thing. Let's say you want a text box. You are building a form and you want a text box, text area for your name, email, password, and then a submit button. If you want to write any message, that then you also need a text field. So all this structure of your website or particular web application, you can give it by HTML. So what this HTML file doing? It is giving a structure to our website. Okay. So now, secondly, the second file is, which is a CSS file. So what this CSS file is doing? This file is just basically responsible for styling your website. If you want to build your house, and let's say you have done with your structure of that house, your builder has a particular structure of that house, and after that it would be the painter or the designer or the decorator, we can say that interior designer kind of thing. These are the person who give incorporate the designing to your house, right? So in similar way, what this CSS file is doing, this CSS file is incorporating styling to your website. It allows you to specify how you want your website to look. Let's say you had a button. Okay, you had a structure in your HTML that you want a button on your website, but imagine a button which is simply a color that you do not want in your web page. So you want a red button in your web page. So how do you do this? This is done with the help of this CSS. So if you want yellow button, then you can also do that. If you want the background color, yeah, you can also do with that CSS. So all these things, all these stylings, designing things, you can do with the CSS file. So the final file is the JS file or JavaScript file, code file. So this is the code that allows your website to actually do things. Okay, what actually do things, what I mean, that actually do any functionality or behavior. So if you are building a house, you had prepared this structure, you had give them a styling, you had designed your house very well, you had painted your walls, and you had furnished your house, everything is fine. But imagine if you're not able to light up your bulb. Okay. And imagine you have a wash basin that is not functioning, that is not that water is not coming out of your wash basin. So this kind of thing. So if you are if you are talking in a context of JavaScript, the electrician to connect the wires through which you can make your bulb light. So the plumber, which would come to make your wash basin make to make water tap functioning. So these are the things that somewhere I'm talking about the functionality. So these are the things which is done with the help of a JavaScript code file. So let's suppose we send a request to a web server for any website, and once we receive these files from the web server, our browser will loads up these 3 files, and we get to see the structure. Okay, when it loads, when it loads randomly, right? It will first load the HTML files, which give the which give my web page structure. Let's say we have, for example, we have google.com. So if you want to access that Google web page, Google home page, so the first thing will happen that the browser will load that HTML files, the first file we had talked about. What that file is doing, it is giving the structure to our Google homepage. So there's no color, there is no buttons styling, there is no styling, there is no functionality. If there is a text area, and as we know that a Google homepage has a text area in which you can search whatever you want to. So you can search, you can write something in it, but you are not able to search anything. Okay, so at this point of time, we are just only able to see the structure. Okay, this is a Google homepage, and no styling, no functionality is there. Okay, second file will be loading. Second file, it loads the CSS file that will modify the look. Okay, so see, whenever we visit that Google homepage, we can see a logo on our homepage. It is colored logo, and the color of the Google text, all these things, the background, all these things, we can now we can able to see that. Okay, with the help of what, CSS. Now that will modify the look and appearance of that Google web page button. Okay, after that we have the third file, which is the JavaScript. So when once the JavaScript loads, whenever the browser will load the JavaScript file, then the website start having functionality. So if we search something on the search area, that it will go to the particular resource that you want to reach. So these are the 3 files which is very important in order to structure, style, and give functionality to a particular website. Okay, so actually, rather than being only displaying the website to us simply only the structure, we need all these files in order to see advanced version or styled version of that homepage, which is actually functioning. Okay, so you want to see the actual HTML, CSS behind any website, so it is very much possible. So anyone here be familiar with the developer tools? If we want to go to any website and we can see that HTML, CSS, and JavaScript behind that, you know about that? Anyone familiar with that concept? And if not, also you can say that no, I am not familiar. Hello.
No, ma'am. Can you please elaborate that?
Okay, so see, if we go to any particular website or any web application, you can see the actual code, the HTML and CSS code that had been written behind it. So see, we can done it by developer tools. So one, see, I can share you. Okay, so let me go to any web page. Let's say Google web page. So this is a Google web page, right? Okay. So see, this is a web page and this is coded, right? This is coded in HTML, CSS, and that's why we are just able to see that. So there is a tool called developer tools. So we have to right click. Okay. Anything you want to see the code, yeah, what is the code behind it? Right click on that particular place and go to inspect. Can you see it? This thing? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see, you can see that HTML here. All this HTML is nothing but the whole the code that is written behind this web page. So I had clicked on this image, Google image, right? Sorry. So I can once again inspect. So see, this is the whole HTML behind this page, whole HTML. And the particular image we can see. This is the particular HTML that is particularly written for this section that is highlighted in the left. We can see that. Okay, so this is a very useful tool if you are reading the modern application course. So this will be very helpful in not in this course only, but everywhere if you are writing HTML, CSS. So this is this is an HTML, and for CSS you can see here the CSS, all the CSS. Okay. So this is the box model. So we'll explain you the box model in the further weeks. So we'll not go into deep into this tool, but I just want to give you an overview that it can also be done. Okay, so see if we click on that. Okay, so where is that? Okay, so this is the code behind it. Okay, so let me close it. Okay, so we are here. So yeah, so we are talking about HTML, CSS. So this is the thing that's all about this particular question, that how a website works, how we can able to see the pages that we want to see on your screen. So yeah, can we move to the next question? If anyone has some question, they can ask, or we can move to the next question then. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. We can go to the next question.
Next question. Okay. So this is our last question, I think. Yeah, this is our last question. So our question is, what is the difference between TCP and UDP? So feel free to answer whatever it's in your mind. You can post it here and we'll have a fair discussion upon this question. So I'll wait for some minutes and then we can continue discussion. Okay, so we got 8 responses. I think I can wait for 1 more minute and then we can discuss on this question. Okay, so we had 9 responses with us. So I think we can discuss. Devi ma'am, would
Yeah,
you
Sonal. Yeah,
would you
Sonal.
like to would you like to respond to this question?
Okay. After viewing the answers or before viewing the answer?
No, I'll let you. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can able to see. Thank you, Sonal. Okay. TCP is connection oriented and UDP is connectionless. Similarly, TCP back and forth communication occur between the client and server. In UDP, data is transferred in a one way and response is not provided. So the first one is right. Consider according to my point, TCP connection oriented, connectionless is right. And the second response, where UDP is transferred in one way, it's not right. It will take multiple paths, but it's not in only one direction. It will take multi-path to reach. And then, so first I will read the responses, then I will tell you the technical things about TCP and UDP. TCP is a transmission control protocol and UDP is a user datagram protocol. Whereas strong server side. TCP is stateful protocol and UDP is a stateless protocol. So that is also correct. TCP stands for transmission control protocol, where we have to establish a connection each time we have to. Yes, that is also exactly correct. Something from the server, and after that the connection is disconnected, whereas in UDP we don't need. Exactly, perfectly, this point is correct. So next point, can you please move little bit upwards, Sonal? Yes, both are packet transmission protocols, but in TCP the server verifies with the client if the packet has been received, whereas UDP whereas in UDP, there is no verification. As a result, that TCP is slower compared to UDP. UDP is faster compared to TCP. That is a valid point. And similarly, both our packet transfer is also correct. And verification, in the sense, in what sense you are saying verification, so that we will discuss afterwards. And UDP is faster than TCP is also correct. Final answer, just go scroll down. TCP is connection oriented while UDP is connectionless. So that is correct. TCP has acknowledgement from, so that is what. Before starting, the last point is also very correct. And it is apt to the question, acknowledgement from the client, while UDP does not get the acknowledgement. And TCP is more cost effective and takes more time, while UDP is less and take less time. So speed compared to UDP, so cost effective, we cannot measure in both the cases. So before stepping into all the answers, appropriately 4 or 5 answers are exactly correct. First, let me explain what is TCP. So TCP is a transmission control protocol. Before we are transmitting some data from the source to destination, there will be a virtual connection that has to be established before transmitting the data. So similar to how you are making a phone call from one person to another person, ringing, there will be a connection establishment from local loop as well as the zonal center. Everything will be involved in a telephone connection, right? So once after ringing, this the person has to pick up. So up to ringing is the handshaking signal. Once the destination sender pick up the phone call, you can able to transfer the data in the audio format. Similar to that, in TCP also, connection has to be established first by using synchronizing packets. And once the connection is established, automatically the data packets will be forwarded. And in that data packets, no need for header information because already we have established the connection between the source and destination. Similarly, once the connection has, once you have transferred whatever content you have in your mind through phone, you will hold the phone, right? So either you will hold the phone or you will cut the phone and the connection has to be disconnected, right? So the once after transmitting the data, you have to terminate the connection. That is also a handshaking signals, right? So there is normally the handshaking signals are used to establish the communication, that is before transmitting the data. And after transmitting your data, once again the handshaking has to occur to close the connection, right? So handshaking signals are nothing but establishing a virtual circuit between the source and destination. And after, all the packets after establishing the circuit has to follow through the same path to reach the destination. And once the data has been transmitted, it has to request for connection close, that is known as handshaking. And after accepting the connection close from the server side, once again smoothly the connection has to be winded up, right? So this is what TCP. And one more thing in TCP, whatever data you are sending, it has to send the acknowledgement that this particular data has reached the destination. So that is known as reliability, and that is provided by the acknowledgement. And we can also add up one more point in acknowledgement, specifying that piggybacking technology. So what is piggybacking? If you want to send a data frame along with the acknowledgement, then that type of packets are known as piggyback, because we know that acknowledgement is going to have only less amount of bandwidth to occupy in the channel or communication medium. So sending only the acknowledgement packet will reduce the efficiency of the network. So for that reason, we are piggybacking that acknowledgement with the data packets that specifies that that particular, whatever packet you have transferred from source to destination has reached, as well as this is my data to for that particular source, right? So the destination can send the response along with the acknowledgement to the sender, right? So that is known as piggybacking. Combining the data packet with the acknowledgement is known as piggybacking. So this proves TCP is reliable because it is getting the acknowledgement that the packet has reached safely, reliably to that corresponding destination. So that only we are specifying TCP is connection oriented, because after establishing the connection, the data is transmitted. And once after the data transmission is completed also, there is a formal way of handshaking to close the connection. After that, we will. So similarly, how a new person is introduced to yourself, what we used to do, hi, my name is this and I am from here, like that, we will do a handshake. Similar, same concept is followed in TCP. First, for introduction, we will use that handshaking signals. After that, we will start communicating with that destination by transferring the data. And once after communication, transferring the data, the connection can be terminated once again by handshaking signals, right? So that only we are specifying it is a connection oriented protocol as well as a reliable protocol based, because it is giving acknowledgement for each and every packet that is reaching the destination. And now coming back to UDP. So UDP is similar to our postal service because we cannot predict that whatever path it is going to take to reach the destination. For example, if I am sending a letter from India to US, I cannot know whatever the path the letter has traveled from my place from India to US, right? So I cannot able to predict that path also, because it is taking multiple paths to reach the destination. So that we should have in each and every packet, we should have the source address and the destination address, because it is taking multiple way to reach the destination. It is not similar TCP, but in TCP what we have specified, we will create the connection, then we will start transmitting in the same path. But in UDP, it may take different path to reach the destination, so that we each and every packet has to be addressed with source IP address as well as destination IP address. After that, the content of the information should be there, right? So that since it is taking multiple paths, the first packet may reach as fourth packet in the destination. Similarly, the third packet what you are sending may reach as the first packet in the destination. Reassembling in the destination is mandatory. And one more thing, just we are forwarding the packet as it is. Once we have the content with us, we are just forwarding the packets, and we cannot worry about whether it has reached the destination correctly or not. So that only it is specified as unreliable. And why it is not connection, why it is connectionless? Because it is choosing any number of paths to reach the destination. It is not a static path to reach the destination or dynamically created static path. So it is taking any path to reach the destination, so that only it is connectionless. And since we are not worrying about whether the packet has reached the destination correctly, it is unreliable. And compared to the speed, since it is taking multiple routes to reach the destination, there is no need for establishing the connection as well as terminating the connection, etc. Only data transfer is taking place in UDP protocol. And the only overhead here is each and every packet has to be encapsulated with the addresses, source address as well as the destination address. That is the only overhead, so that it is reaching the destination in by taking multiple paths, it is reaching the destination very fastly. So that compared to TCP, UDP is fast, unreliable, as well as connectionless. And if you have any queries, you can ask me now. I think I have made it clear.
Ma'am, what is stateful and a stateless protocol?
A stateful, so that is what once we have created a session, so since we have created a handshake, using handshaking, we have created a endpoints, end-to-end endpoints virtual circuit that is between the source and destination. So that is stateful. We know that currently there is a connection between the source and destination, and you are started transmitting the data in that particular communication link, right? So that is stateful. Similar to sessions, once you have log into a particular website, automatically your sessions created there, and there will be a session monitoring between you as well as that particular website. So that is stateful. And once you have logged out, your session will also expire, and that statefulness is also not valid up to that particular point, right? So that is known as stateful, which is, since we are creating a virtual circuit, it is TCP is stateful, and stateless Since it is not having any particular path to reach the destination, it can take multiple paths, so it is stateless. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Any more questions? Sonal, whether you want to add up any points regarding this?
Okay, so no, ma'am, that's fine. But if anyone wants to add some points, they can add. If you have any queries regarding this question, you can ask to ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Or okay, I can see one hand raised. If you have any queries, please
Yes,
let
please.
us know.
Yes, yes, please ask your queries either in the chat box or in the TCP is basically like a password protected Wi-Fi, and UDP is an open Wi-Fi. See, for wireless protocols, we have separate things. We cannot say it is password protected and it is UDP is open Wi-Fi, because both are encrypted. Whatever packets you are transmitting using UDP can be also encrypted in an encrypted format. You cannot be able to disclose the information because it is an encrypted packet. Similarly, TCP is also an encrypted packet, but the encryption is only for the communication channel. For UDP, each and every packets has to be encrypted for providing the security. But for a TCP, only the communication channel can be protected because the data are transmitted without any IP address details and all. So it is transmitted as a stream of data once the connection is established. So we cannot specify that the channel itself is protected. So we cannot relate to with the protected Wi-Fi password and non-protected Wi-Fi password.
Okay, so I think there is no more query about this question. So let me stop sharing. Okay. So yeah, I had one question. I had asked some question about internet, extranet, and intranet. So I will not go very deep into these concepts, but let me give you just an overview, and I just want to share one points apart from that. See, internet I had discussed earlier, right? So internet is just a collection of a globally connected networks of computers, right? That see, we know that we had a enormous amount of data. If we calculate the amount of data in this world, so since the population of this world is increasing day by day, so the data related to that population or that world is also increasing. So for such a large amount of data, so people also wants to share data here and there and resources up along with the data. So see, internet is a way to connect two computers or two networks of computers. So this is what we can share our data and resources from one place to any other place, any part of the world we can send, right? With the help of internet. So I assume that internet is clear. But see, if I talk about intranet, so internet is somewhere restricted internet. So why it is restricted? So see, in internet, we are free to use the internet to share our data and resources here and there, anywhere in the globe, anywhere in the world. between any number of computers. But in intranet, it is restricted, and the peoples who are connected with this intranet connection is only confined to a very restricted area. Okay, for example, if you are working in an organization, or you're working in any kind of store, so they had a personalized internet connection. Okay, so anyone outside the that organization will not able to use this internet. Okay, this kind of internet is called extranet, in which only the peoples or only the employees within that organization or store, any kind of data or resources, they are not able to uh, share them within another organization or another kind of people. The data is very this all thing are done because they had to see their data as a safe resources, safe. Okay, so with regarding to this context, they use intranet. We are generally use internet in the organization, such that they are the confidential data and the files that they had about the organization. They did anyone who is working in this their organization is not able to send this confidential data to any other organization. So they use intranet. So intranet is also kind of internet, but it is a kind of restricted internet. So this is all about intranet. Sorry. So what is the extranet? So see, we talked about internet, we had talked about intranet, and in extranet, what we do, extranet is a type of intranet with some more obligation and restriction. So what is this restriction? We here we are able to share our data and resources with another partner or external vendor or external organization, but it is also always confined. Okay, so we it should be known that which organization we are sending the resources or data. So in extranet, it is basically a web portal that is accessible by an organization, and it is also accessible by the external vendors and partners. Okay, so we can share the data and resources to external organization too, but it is also always restricted. Okay, we if we are working in company A and we are restricted to share data and resources to company B, so it is only possibility that we only share the data and resources to company B only. If any internal employee or any kind of leakage of data will happen, it will not go to any company C. Okay, he or she will not be able to share data in any other company apart from B. So this is the very minor difference between intranet and extranet. So in basically with an intranet, the host organization kind of manages the administration and content to which and control access to the members. Okay, so which organization is permissible or not, and which kind of this kind of things. Okay, so at last we can see it as, see, internet is a superset of extranet and intranet. Okay, extranet is a superset of intranet. Okay, and intranet. Okay, so in this context, we also see that this three terms. Inter means between two computers we can share. Intra means inside of the organization. Okay, inside within the organization. And extra means outside. Okay, so we can also share our resources and details with the outside vendors. So this is the very minor difference between these three terminologies. So in this course, we are not very going very details into intranet and extranet. So yeah, this is a basic terminology we should have to keep in mind that what is this terms. Okay, yeah. So Any other queries regarding the questions that you had been through these slides? And
Ma'am, what is IPv6 and IPv4?
okay, so see, IPv6 and IPv4. So these both are kind of IP addresses, are types of IP addresses. Okay. So as IP addresses, you know what is IP addresses, right?
Yes,
Sonal, can I add more points on this?
Ma'am, which question?
For this IP address, IPv4.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. So IPv4 is a 32-bit IP address. The address space for IPv4 is 32-bit. Since so many number of nowadays we are having plenty of Internet of Things devices. Each and every devices which are in need to connect to the internet needs an IP address. So the disadvantage of IPv4 is automatically the address space depletion. For example, in IPv4 we are having different categories of classes: Class A, Class B, Class C IP address. So using only that types of classes, there is also classless IP addresses that is available in IPv4. So since it is of only 32 bits, exhaust of address space, we are moving towards IPv6, which is of 128 bits. So automatically, if you see nowadays, if you want to, for example, if it is Windows, you can use ipconfig command or ifconfig command for a Linux-based operating system to check your IP address. So there you can identify nowadays the system will have both IPv4 IP as well as IPv6 IP. So only the version is different. The only thing that is the can be able to connect if it is of that much of address space. And if it is IPv6, you can have so many number of systems that can be connected because of 128 bits are used for IPv6. And moreover, in IPv4, since based on class A, as I have specified class A, class B, class C, right? So class A, the first 8 bits will be the network portion, the remaining bits will be the host portion. So 2 power 24 host can be connected using class A address. Similarly, in class class B, first 8 bits, that is 8 plus 8, 16 bits will be of network portion, and remaining 8 bits, that is 2 bytes, that is of host portion. So 2 power 16 systems can be connected using class B IP address. Similarly, for class C, the first 3 portions, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So first 3 bytes will be represented as network portion, and remaining 1 byte will be represented as the host portion. So totally, if you use class C IP address, you can able to connect 2 power 8 systems, that is 256 systems can be able to connected using class C address. So if it is a less number of system in your organization, you can use class C. More number of systems greater than 256, automatically you have to use class B, class C, like that it goes off. And classless IPs, which are not coming under these categories of class A, class B, and class C, where we will use slash notation. Using that slash notation, the subnet mask will be identified. So only for this clarity, IPv4 and IPv6, this is enough to understand. So this will specify the address space is less for IPv4, so that only we are moving towards IPv6, where we will have 2 power 128 address space. Yes, Sonal, you can take over.
So, ma'am, it can have both IPv6 and IPv4. It can have both of them, right?
Pardon me? Can you please repeat once again?
A device can have both IP addresses like IPv6 and IPv4. Like both of them
Yes.
it can have.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So, okay.
So any other questions regarding IPv4, IPv6, and you can ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Actually, I wanted to ask an out of context question. Actually, I'm struggling to in Ubuntu environment. I wanted to ask, is it possible to code HTML in Windows environment?
Yeah, it is fine if you are working with Windows. It is no need that it is not compulsion that you always use.
Actually, in the screencast 1.1, it was
Yeah.
discussed in the Ubuntu environment, Ubuntu world. So
Tejas sir has been working on Ubuntu. In all these screencasts, he is basically working on the Linux system. So it is fine if you are working with Windows. So
okay.
yeah, so they are basically corresponding commands that that maybe you can suffer from that if you are not knowing about the Windows, as sir is telling all the commands in Linux. So on
Yes.
Windows, yeah, but you can continue with Windows. And if you are if you have some queries regarding Windows, which command do I need to,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
you can post it on Discourse, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It is fine if you are working with Windows.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Which all software should we pre-install for this course? Can we do that before we start the week?
So software, I think there is some prerequisite slides. You can go to that slides and you can see. Right?
Is it on Discourse?
No, it's not on Discourse. You were present in the orientation session of
okay.
app dev.
I don't recollect it, but I'll go back to the orientation there.
Yeah. So in orientation session, we had discussed all the software requirements. So I didn't remember the particular thing, but yeah, we had discussed. So you can go to the YouTube link of that orientation session. It is seen. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
Any other questions? If anyone wants to.
Ma'am, can you explain that extranet, intranet, and internet again? Once.
Okay, so see, about internet, you know that you have idea, right? What is internet?
Yes.
So what can you please tell me that what is internet?
Yes, ma'am. Like you explained, internet is kind of connecting networks all across the globe, and there are these long cables that are connecting it. So there's something called as DNS, ISP, IP address. It all comes into the picture. So if I were to write google.com, it would go to the DNS and find out the IP address of the Google server, which is where my packet would hit and get a response. So that's the entire gamut of internet.
Yeah. So yeah, see, this is all about internet, right? So what basically we do in internet? So as I described earlier, internet is a long giant wire on which million and trillions of I don't know the exact number, but very large amount of computers and devices are connected to each other, right? So why they are connected to each other? in order to share resources, data, and whatever files they want to share between the computers, right? So they are able to share from one part of globe to another part of globe. This is very basic, and from internet, this is it. But see, internet is like a globally connected network of computers. That what it does, it enables the peoples or the devices on the peoples on the devices share information, communicate. Basically they do this to communicate with each other in the form of data and whatever. This is all about internet. So in intranet is also a type of internet, but it is a restricted type of internet. How it is restricted? See, internet is a globally connected network. So we can send data and resources anywhere from to anyone. Okay, but in intranet, it is restricted within an organization or within a particular place or particular confined area. So, like for example, if you are working in any company, let's say you are company A. So if you are using intranet, which is also a kind of internet, which is also a subset of internet. So if you are using intranet, you are not able to share data and resources from your devices to any other device. Let's say you are in company A, so you're not able to leak data or resources in company B. You're not able to. You're just able to share data between your colleagues, right, within the organization. So this is kind of intranet, in which this is a kind of restricted network that enables people to share information within an organization, and it is not possible for them to share data anywhere. It is only confined to a particular place. This is all about intranet. So, and if you talk about extranet, so in extranet, it is also a kind of intranet, internet, but here the restriction is somewhere different. So in extranet, it is very much possible that you can share data information from within your organization in between the colleagues, but it is also possible that it is also possible to share data and resources of your organization to a particular organization. But in intranet, it is not possible, right? You can also always share the information within the organization, but here you can also share between two organizations. Let's say you are in company A and anyone in company B. So if your host organization, let's say you are host organization, so if with an extranet, the host organization manages such kind of administration or such kind of access control to the members of company A and company B in such a way that they can share data and resources with each other. But yeah, if you are confined to only company A and company B, it is not possible to share your data, your company's data, your organization data to company C. Okay, but with uses of internet, you can do so. But if you are using intranet or extranet, it is restricted kind of network. It is also a kind of internet. We can call it as a subset of internet, as a internet is a superset of extranet and intranet. But if we talk about particular internet, we can say it is a subset of extranet. Okay, so in extranet, we can able to we can able to send and receive data between the vendors or partner of your organization, so or external members, right? So this is somewhere some points about internet, intranet, and extranet. So we will not go into very deep into this concept, but yeah, this is a kind of overview. So okay, you got it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got it very well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone? wants to ask any question?
Ma'am, can you explain what is root domain and subdomains?
Okay, so you're talking about URL address, right?
Yes, ma'am. The different part of URL address.
Yeah, so see, what's your name? I don't know. So see,
Ashraf, ma'am.
okay, see Ashraf, this URL thing we have in the further weeks. Okay, so in further weeks we just have a live session, or in the lecture itself you will able to understand this. This is the first week, right? So in the further week, I think in week 3 or 2 or 3, I think this concept will come, that what are the parts of URL, what is a protocol, what is a domain name, what is a subdomain, what is a port, what is a path, what is a this all the parts of a URL will explain you in the further week. Okay, so this is
Yes,
just
ma'am.
week 1.
There are some problem in graded assignment, ma'am, related to some root domain and URLs. That's why I asked.
Okay, so graded.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not. I'm not sure that we can discuss graded question now.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I asked the general definition. What is exactly root domain and something?
Okay. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Okay. I'll. Hello. Yeah, Ashraf. I will. I cannot give you the full details about this question, but
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
I can definitely give you an overview, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So see, I'll just give you as we are discussing this concept in the further weeks in more details. So I'll just give you an overview. So let's say you have an you have a URL. Okay. You had entered an URL in your browser. So what we generally enter in your browser? Can you tell me?
Yes, ma'am. Some kind like www dot something address of the ma'am, address of
Mm-hmm.
the site, and then some path.
Yeah. So what are have you any idea what are those parts?
If I am searching for Google, ma'am, in searching for Google in image, so I can directly write google.com/images, something like that, ma'am.
Okay. So see, whenever you write any URL, there is a first of all we have a scheme, right? Scheme is also called as protocol. Okay, what is the scheme? The HTTPS, and after that we had a colon, right? After that colon, what we had a slash or double slash, we can call it as. So after that scheme, we had a domain name. What is the domain name? Let's say we are going to Google page. So we are going to www.google.com. Okay. So this is all along. This is known as a domain name. Okay. So see, you are asking about subdomain. So what is subdomain? See, this www is the subdomain. Okay. Are you getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
So this subdomain is nothing but the that www.example.com is all along Google, domain name, and the www thing is subdomain. Okay, this is subdomain, and after domain name we have a port number. See, after www.example.com we have a colon, and we write any port number. So, are you aware what is port number?
Yes, ma'am. Kind of like a address where my socket get connected.
Yeah, so
Hence,
yeah, apart from the IP address, it is very important to provide the port number also, such that our request will get to the required process. Check for the required process. If the process is in under process is running, it will connect to the another process. So port, for HTTP it is general port number 80 we use. So after the domain name we have that port number, and after this port number we have a slash, and after that we have path. Okay, so which kind of path this is? So see, we have a let's say we have path, parameters, and anchors. So these are basically the things which are not very usual if we are searching for any website or web page. But yeah, this is very useful if we are talking, if we are talking about any particular page. Let's say we have a page called MDN docs. If we take a example of MDN docs, so on MDN docs we have many areas, right? We have a web technology, we had HTML, CSS, we have a Python docs. All the separate document are listed, which document you want to open. Okay, so if you want to go to HTML, so this is the path. Okay, so you gone to that particular google.com. This is a subdomain. You had used that port to connect to your server. Sorry, yeah, server. After that, path defines that which particular uh, section of that document you want to access. So this is, let's say if you want to open any document which is related to HTML on that MDN docs, particular resources. So it will direct to that particular resources, and on the URL you can see the difference. Okay, you can see that path has been added within the URL along with the domain name. Okay, after the path we have parameters. Okay, so what is this parameters? So parameters is nothing but this is kind of an extra parameter that is provided to the web server. So this is a generally kind of format in which we write the parameters in a key and value pair. Okay, and the key and the value pair are separated with the and symbol. So this is all about parameters. So it is not very much useful to give the parameters of your own. It is very much not possible also that you are giving the parameters to the web server. It is just that you are giving them the domain name and the path and the parameters. It is just a extra information that you can give or you cannot give, or if you are able that you can give. After that we have anchor also, anchor parameters. So this is also a kind of extra parameters. So these are all the parts of a URL. So we'll be discussing this in more details. Let's say in week 2 or week 3. I don't know the exact week that we had been discussing this concept of URL and the parts of URL. But yeah, I think we can discuss it. So this is all about an overview of the parts of URL. So had you got my points?
yes, ma'am. Is it clear now, ma'am?
Okay, thank you. Any other queries? If everything is every query has been addressed, so can we close this session? Or if you want to ask anything, you can ask. But if there is nothing, then we can close.
No, I think we can close.
Okay, so I think we are done with the today's session. So I hope you all will come in the next session, which is on Wednesday, it is of week 2. So once again, Happy New Year to all of you. And so let's end this session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy New Year, ma'am.
Thank you. So, sir, we can end the session. We can stop the live stream as well.